Hello, one and all. Welcome back to the Gaming Pantry. This is L'Être Bear speaking to you and welcoming you back for another pickups video. I always promise you stuff, there ain't going to be any more of these, and they all keep running into one, don't they? Blame the independent shops. They keep selling the stuff that I want. But anyway, hope you're well. Good to see you back, and nice to be here once again. What have we got for you today? Well, we have a veritable selection of a couple of gifts. We've got some Wii, we've got some Xbox One, so I think will be the second time I've shown any Xbox One games on this channel, which is rather interesting. We've got a load of 8-bit. I know you love your 8-bit at the moment, very popular, and some interesting stories and things as well. Let's address the logo in the room, which is the TMB logo, for those of you who have been supporting our, I say podcast, it's not really a podcast, is it, anymore? It used to be. Some people consume it like that, I don't know. We just can't be bothered to change the name. Our 2-hour live stream every other Sunday. Thank you for everybody who supported that so far this year. We've got we've got 6 more to go. And thanks to everybody who turned up on Sunday, because we were talking about independent game shops, which is quite convenient, because obviously I've got some stuff here from the indies. But yeah, so if you didn't see that at the time, do check that out below. You'll find all the other 64 episodes we've done over the last 2 and a bit years. But yeah, so I couldn't find a game I wanted to stick in the background, so I thought I'd just stick that on there. It matches the red t-shirt as well, doesn't it? So you know who I am and you know what we do. So yeah, next podcast, 9th of October, it's a Sunday, 8 o'clock. Don't forget to join us. Yeah, so been out and about again, haven't I? I woke up on Saturday, just gone, which will be the, whatever it was, last Saturday. I'm trying to remember. 17th? No. 25th? No, 24th. I can't remember. 20-something of September, anyway, which was a Saturday. And I woke up and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go for an old-fashioned game hunt. I really fancy going for an old-fashioned game hunt. It didn't quite pan out as it should have done. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about some gifts first of all, because I've had a couple of things donated to me once again, which is, I'm always so grateful that people think that they want to, think so highly of me that they want to offer me things from my collection, which is fantastic. And I even after my last video, which if you didn't see that, there was some donations in there. Somebody else has mentioned that they want to send me some other stuff as well, so I'll be probably getting some more things maybe next week. It's great, you know. Obviously cheaper than taking it down the tip. I'm joking. As I said last time, I'm honoured and deeply touched that people actually think enough of me to think, you know what, I know somebody will want something like that and won't take anything for it or whatever, and they just know it'll go and be looked after, which is one thing. So I'll talk about a couple of things I got sent first of all. You may remember a few videos ago I was talking about a particular tape that I picked up in, I wasn't on eBay, and then I got sent some other stuff in there which I didn't know was going to be included. There's a tape in there which somebody wanted for their collection. It's a really strange way of doing it. Anyway, the gentleman in question is Judge Drock. He has got a YouTube thing, but he hasn't got any sort of videos on there, from what I remember. But I've still got to send him the tape, but he very kindly sent me something in return. And these are brilliant. So he sent me 2 of these, and these are the Fusion Annuals 2020 and 2021. You see those there. So I'm aware of the magazine, but I wasn't actually aware of these hard books. There's an advert for Advocate on the back there, and it was popular last year. And there's some other Fusion magazine, but it's full of articles and the bits and pieces. So there's lovely things there. The editor Chris Wilkins, his name I remember, but there's articles on Oliver Frey, Luigi's Mansion, the Firefox F7, the Grandstand tabletop, feature on the Retro Man Cave, Neil down in Bristol, Donkey Kong on the Coleco, Top 10 Indie Games, Marvel games. That's just that particular edition. That's the 2020 one, which I think is that the one that came with the little card. No, that wasn't. And then this is the 2021 one, which came with this little card as well, which Mark left in there. Some nice artwork there. And again, this has got, what have we got in here? Pac-Man handhelds, the MSX, Vectrex, Pokemon, Terrible Games, that's a good one. We always like that one, don't we? Battlestar Galactica, Roland to the Rescue, Penny Racers, all sorts of different things. I'll drop the card on the floor. I'll find that afterwards because you don't see my top of my balding head. But yeah, so Mark, thank you very much indeed for those. It's really appreciated. I shall have a very enjoyable time reading through those. So those are really great. I've never seen those before, so that's fantastic. Thank you very much indeed for sending those. And I must get that tape in the post for you before the end of the week, before the post people go on strike for the next 3 months. Crazy people. And then only yesterday, the Enigma that is Big Game Al was passing through on his way to somewhere else via going to Blackpool this weekend, isn't he? So he's passing through here on his way somewhere else and then stopping over up there. He had to see Mrs. Bear about a couple of technical things and popped in for a couple of hours with his good lady friend Kaz in tow. That's not her name, it's Kaz. Sure you understood that. And he brought a couple of games for me, and I'd completely forgotten about it because I remember when he was offering these, or trying to sell these things, and I said, oh yeah, put those aside for him. I'd completely forgotten about it. So he dropped these in for me, which was great because I haven't got them, and it's a couple of Wii games. Well, actually, I've got one of them. The first one he passed through, which was The Legend of Spyro. This one is Dawn of the Dragon. I think I've only got one Spyro game. Which is probably, yes, tucked behind there, behind the bears in the corner. They're still there, by the way. You know, actually see them. This is Basil and Retro Bear still set in the corner. So that one's passed through. Again, this has come, knowing now with his collection, this has got the safety manual and the disc. And it's in very, very good condition. Again, we know Al likes collecting his stuff and looks after it, so that was nice. And he also passed this one through to me as well. I'm going to move my drinks around because I have to use this a bit later on to put some stuff up. But he also passed this one through as well. Now I've already got this, but my copy is sealed in a special collector's edition. And I don't really want to open it, but I would like to play it. So he's given me passed through Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. Because there's a limited edition set of this with the old-fashioned like TV set. There's a little little figure inside that. There's a limited edition USB stick with it, and a sealed copy of the game. So this one comes with all the paraphernalia you'd expect, and it's got a Disney code as well, which I'm not going to show you because I'm not sure if that's still valid or not. But there we go. So that's right. Yes. So I've got the first one, which very beautiful game. And this one, there's also a limited edition controller, there's a brush controller for your Wii remote, which I'd like to get hold of at some point as well. But great, thank you very much indeed. I can now play that one because I've shied away from unsealing it. Not that I like to keep games sealed, but that's like a set. And although the set has been opened, everything else in there is sealed. So even the little model hasn't been taken out of its bag. So I don't really want to go into tearing that apart just to play the game. I could actually pay the £4 it was in the shop for, but anyway. It's a bit easier to do. And my trusty vape broke as well on Friday and Thursday. Thursday, coming home from work, it was working absolutely fine, and then so I decided to go home 10 minutes afterwards. It stopped working, so I had to buy a new one, same brand, but yeah, so shouldn't be doing that on camera. But yeah, so it's been funny all week, that's fine. So Al, thank you very much indeed. Mark, thank you very much indeed for those. Let's now move on to the stuff I bought. I got a couple of Xbox One games here. I know, Xbox One. Woohoo! I've done PlayStation 4. I've shown Switch games on this channel. That's about as far as I go in terms of modern stuff. And I've just out and about on this old-fashioned game hunt. And it sort of, I'll get to what happened after I show you these games. When the Cash Converters, first shop I went into, and I was just perusing through, and I thought, first of all, they cleared their stock down quite a bit. There wasn't a huge amount of games that they usually have in there. And secondly, I thought, well, do I look at the news? I don't, okay, I'll have a quick look. There was a couple of games caught my eye. I thought, well, I've been after that one, and I'd like that one as well, so I bought them. So the first one I got is Forza Horizon 3. So there's not much to see inside these, in there. This one actually's got a broken clasp on it, which is really annoying. It's got the disc in, you don't need to see the disc here. And there's the back of it. So I've got all four Forzas on the Xbox and 360. I've also got Forza It's either Horizons 2 on the 360 as well, which was gifted to me by David Retro Games, played badly. And then this is my first one there. Funny enough, this was $5.99 in cash converters. Oh, that's off. Remember, I've got to keep doing that because I'm doing money drop. So it's $5.99 in cash converters. I think CEX charged £6, so it's about the same price for it. But I thought, well, you know what, I'll just grab it, because the plan is at the moment to move the Xbox One downstairs into the main living area with the PlayStation 4 and the Switch, so we can get Game Pass onto it as well, and then we can switch between playing different systems. So it's the plan at the moment. That's where it's going to go. I know Mrs. Bear likes a good driving game, so that's probably one we both wanted to play, really, so that's fine. And I was looking, just going through this, I thought, oh, that's cheap, because I bought Star Wars Squadrons a few weeks back on the PlayStation 4, although I would have wanted it on the Xbox One. So looking through the games, I thought, oh, that seems a good price. So I picked this up, and this is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I have heard about, but I've not actually really seen much about it. I'll show you the, see, there's the disc inside there, and there's a receipt. Yeah, I can't remember what that was for. There we go. And there's the back of the box. So, yeah, and I paid a grand sum of $2.99 for that. Now, I went to CX around the corner, they're selling it for £8, so I thought, oh, that's a win, isn't it? So I got that for less than half price what CX sold it for. So, $5.99, so it's nine quid just under in cash converters for those two. But, yeah, I will definitely give that a go. I know Mrs. Bear was playing Squadron before the telly blew up. But, there we go. So, that's 2 from my Xbox One collection, which now takes me to a grand total of 3. Yeah. Getting there slowly. We get them in singles. I think it's the old cricketing term we used to use. Yeah, now this was the start of my game hunt on Saturday, and I carried on going through Dudley, was where I was, which was a nightmare to get to because they're digging up half the car park anywhere where I usually try and park. So that was a nightmare to try and get in and out of, especially get out of, because some woman decided she wanted to come in the only way you can get out, and I had absolutely nowhere to go in the car, and it was an absolute nightmare. It really was. But after popping in there, the next charity shop I went into, they got, I thought, well, no games in here as always. Here we go. And they got some on the counter in a box. I could see a few sports titles. I thought, oh, there we go. So I had a quick flick through. The first one that caught my eye was FIFA 14 on the Xbox 360 for the enticing sum of £5. At which point I decided, it's going to be a good day, this, isn't it? It's going to go really well. I'm not joking, after that, it was just barren. And even the guy in the market stall, I've had some good stuff over the years. I've really sort of slimmed down what he's selling at the moment. He's got obviously the current generation stuff. He's got previous generation stuff. He's got PlayStation 2. But probably that's about as far back as you go. I mean, all his PlayStation 1 stuff are gone. There's all these odd bits of retro are gone. All his Wii stuff are gone. All his apart from the Switch, all the Nintendo stuff are gone. So whether he hadn't taken that much that day, I don't know. But yeah, I was thinking, yeah, this is not good. So I went back to the car, tried to get out of the car park, and I thought, well, what do I do now? Do I go home? I could go home. Or I could go to one of my local independents. I thought, you know what, I'll go to my local independent. I'll go to the Vintage Gamer. So I took about a 20-minute detour trying to find the quickest and easiest way to go. Because if you get a Vintage Gamer, you know that most of you will come from the one direction, which is down the hill, and you can see the car park, which is not the easiest car park to get on off, but you come the other way, which I was going to come up, you can't see the car park. So if you try and turn in there and like the place is rammed, one, it's really, really difficult to get on there and turn around, and two, it's really difficult to get on there and turn around. So I thought, well, I have to do a detour, went all the way around, come back around, and lo and behold, when I got there, the car park was like a third full, so I thought, great. It turns out they had a YouTube celebrity in there in the morning. I won't mention who she is. But it was looking at, you know, they obviously tidied everything up and put everything away in the cabinets and whatever, and very welcoming, you know. Nick was there in the usual good mood, saying hello to everybody, and I'd seen Nick at the local football match the week before, our local football team. He hadn't been for ages, and I hadn't been for ages. My mate from Australia had come back. He's still back at the moment. I'm seeing him again on Saturday for a first time I've seen him in 8 years, 7, 8 years, I think it is. So he said, oh, I want to go down to the local team and watch football like we used to when we were kids. So we went down there, watched the match, and lo and behold, 10 yards away, Nick was stood there. So I was talking about the football, had a quick look round, and they'd also done some tidying up and sorting out. Now, I had a big pile of 8-bit stuff last time I went in there. They took all the boxes down for me. Apart from the Commodore 64 stuff, which they left buried, and believe me, it was even more buried when I went in there on Saturday just gone. But they had some stuff just on the floor. I thought, I'm sure I've seen that before. And all of a sudden I started picking up stuff that wasn't there 2 weeks previously. I was like, this is weird. This is strange. Where do they find all this stuff from? And I thought, I'm sure I've been through all this, but no, I hadn't. So we've actually, without actually having the the rummage I had last time, where I got all the boxes down and went through stuff and went as far as I could do, and there were a couple of boxes which are now back on stacked up again, which I thought, oh crap, I could have got that out of there. And I missed that one, and I missed that one. But all this stuff, I don't know where it came from. It just they'd also just tidied stuff up, put things away, and I was sort of going, I don't remember seeing any of this. Where's all this stuff come from? So we got a load of 8-bit stuff here. I didn't plan on going in there and buying 8-bit stuff. And there was also in there a non 8-bit tape game, which I'm going to show you first of all, which is the Master System game, so I forgot to pick that up. When I was in there with Retro Kit and Mike and James Retro Import Game, and me and James were talking about, this was 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Master System games, and I said, oh, you know, I said, yeah, I showed this game, oh, that's really nice quality. I said, yes, it's not bad, is it? Nice copy. He said, oh, you're going to get it? I said, well, yeah, it depends how much money I spend in. Obviously, I spent a fair chunk, so I didn't pick it up. So while I was waiting for a price on this stuff I got here, I was walking around and I thought, oh, there's that copy of that game there. So I picked it up. And I'm very glad I did, because it ticks a lot of my Master System collecting vibes. So it's a miracle I could have missed this the first time around. So I picked up a copy of the Terminator. Now, I've got this on the Mega Drive, well, I've got the Genesis version, which does actually play on the Mega Drive, when there's few Genesis games which will run on the European one anyway. But in terms of what I'm after, it's got a nice strong hang tabbage there. Clean cover, no rips or anything in the plastic on the outside, no cracks, it shuts perfectly. So as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. The only thing missing is a little Sega sticker, which you usually find on the spine. To be honest, I ain't really bothered about that. Open it up inside. There we go. It's got the cartridge on the right way, Stu, as you always look for. And there's a little bit of a mark on the manual there, but to be honest with you, I'm not really bothered about that. It's a nice looking copy of that. So I'm happy to add that. I'm not adding much Master System stuff recently. As I picked up a couple of games last time. I think I got Lemmings and Winter Olympics, which was the Kicks edition. But I've not really bought much since the start of the summer. So getting closer to 100 of these now. It'd be nice to have, 100 Master System games in their cases. For me, that's unprecedented. If you don't know how I collect, go back and watch some of the early stuff, please. It's shocking. You see yourself, oh yeah, I'm not bothered about manuals. I don't, if they ain't got manuals, I'm not so bothered about that. And like nowadays, I wouldn't buy anything without a manual. Especially the Wii. So stuff now, because I've started, collecting, you change over time. It's like, now I am bothered about manuals, especially the Master System, because I want one collection that I've got, which is, everything. If I've got 100 games, they've all got the manuals and the cartridges in nice condition. The hang tabs would be great if they're all there. Most of them are, and there's no sort of damage to the outside. Right, so that's the non 8-bit tape game done. Let's get on to the tape stuff. And this might be the last tape haul for a bit, I don't know. Right, so where do we start? Let's start with this one then, shall we? So, just rummaging. It's just stuff I found at random, honestly. I wasn't looking for anything particular. It was just like, I'm sure I've seen this before. But anyway, so first game I picked up, which is a budget release version on the Commodore 64. This is a game which I think at the time it got, I'm not saying it was a bit of a letdown. It's not the best conversion. It's not horrible, but it's not great. And this is Rolling Thunder on the Kicks label. So there we go, which is like a side scrolling. If you play RoboCop, it's sort of like that, but it's like you're going to go between platforms and go into doors and get bullets and machine gun and keep replenishing. It's quite a tricky little game. It's not bad. The only thing which is slightly letting this one down is the fact that we got the box. Now, again, if you collect your 8-bit stuff, this is the sort of that really annoys you. You can see there's a couple of holes in it. Now, what it is that this case is not the correct case, because you know when you look at the back of inlays, they sometimes have holes so the pins can go in, and the ones without the pins on should be completely smooth at the back, and obviously that's got damage on it, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, I won't bother about that. And that would set you about $2.99 though, budget game, $2.99. But you can't see much on the back anyway. But there we go. But Rolling Thunder, cracking little game. Not been nice, I cracking. It's not massive. It's all right. I remember playing it back then and thinking, wow, it's great. But I've played it again recently, and last few years, it's not quite as good as it used to be. Now we got some. We've got some Amstrad cardboard. Yeah, these were just general games, and again, just sitting on a shelf. And I thought, blimey, how about that? I'm not really sure how this one is going to play. I'm not holding out a huge amount of hope for it because of the sort of game it is. So we got a copy of Stun Runner. Now this is on the Amstrad. Now the Hit Squad version of this is a pricey old game. But this is the original release, this is the original cardboard release from Domark. And I've just had a quick look through my Commodore 64 cupboard for something else, unrelated to this. And I actually found out I've got this on the Commodore 64 in exactly the same box. Which is weird, isn't it? Because I didn't think I got this at all. It's one of these games that interests me, curiosity, because it was an arcade, it was like a 3D intergalactic shoot 'em up through a tunnel. So how this is going to run on an Amstrad, let alone any other 8-bit system, I don't know. But it's got the tape, and it's also got the manual inside there. Again, very, very good condition. Very, very good condition. Box is not bad. There's a little bit of scuffing around the edges, but we accept that sort of thing. A little dip there, but I ain't really bothered about that. And that's the arcade machine. You can see on the back, somebody very excited to be sitting on it. But yeah, it's like a 3D. Obviously, what they've done is they've shoved possibly arcade screenshots on there to give you the impression you're actually getting that sort of game. But it's one of these things we've said before, why would they try and convert something which is meant to run 3D back in 1991, whatever, and sell it onto a system which is, you know, so many times less powerful to run something like that? I don't know. If you played Stun Runner on the Amstrad, do let me know. So I'd like to know what you think about it, because that's going to be interesting. Now this one was in fantastic condition, and again, how did I miss it? I think this is more better known as a Atari Lynx game, if my memory serves me correctly, and this is Chip's Challenge, which is from US Gold Epics. So Dylan might be interested. It's an Epics game, Dylan. I'm not sure how you are on this one. Their eyes met across the laboratory. The chemistry was instantaneous. There we go. So that's it. And again, this is in cracking condition on the inside. It does look like it's been hardly touched. Tape looks in great condition. It has been touched because it's the tape's at the wrong end of the reel. But yeah, it's like a puzzle game. It's like I said, the Atari Lynx one is probably the one that most people would remember. I hope I'm getting that right, because I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, but again, that's on the Amstrad. And again, I mean, it's beautiful condition. Again, that box is probably better than the Stun Runner one. When you find things like this, obviously we've gone about cardboard as in terms of collecting. It's always nice to dig something out which has got good quality cardboardage. Believe me, some shocking cardboard I'm going to show you shortly. There's a couple of real shockers in here, but I got them for a price because they were shockers. Right, let's move on to the Commodore 64, because we've done some 64, so that's Amstrad. So there's more Commodore 64 stuff. Unfortunately, we have here the probably worst one of the lot, actually. I'm just trying to work out. There's a lot of Spectrum in here. Yep. There's one Commodore 64 one left. This is a shocker. But for the price it was, I think it was worth getting, and I could try and do a bit of repair job on this. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it, to see if I can turn out. Anyway, there's a couple of compilations from this particular character. Your friend of mine. We all love him. This is Dizzy's Excellent Adventures. I should always hear the howls of, no, not Dizzy again, you fool. But there we go. So we've got Dizzy Panic, Dizzy Down the Rapids, Dizzy Prince of the Oak Folk, Spellbound Dizzy, and Quick Snacks. And I'm pretty sure I've got most of those, if not all of them already. I don't think I've got Dizzy Down the Rapids. That might be one I might be missing. But as you can see, that it doesn't look too bad when it's flat, but when you turn that round like that, you can't actually see it. There we go. It's battered. So this is going to be a little project. And as Mrs. Bear said, you need to start taking care of your stuff and sort of getting things organised and repaired properly. I mean, how it's ended up like that, I don't know. Look at that fold down there, brilliant, isn't it? But yeah, everything, you know, well protected. The instructions are there. The tapes are all in the bag, which is exactly the sort of thing you want. So it's installed well. It's just absolutely bracked off the box. But I did get it at a knockdown price, which is fine. And I think, you know, possibly I may have left this one behind previously. I thought that's beyond repair, but usually I wouldn't pick up something in that condition. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try it, and yeah, it's not great, but worth a shot at it anyway. So I've got a couple of Codemasters compilations, and I'm pick that up, it'd be quite nice. And if I can get the box straight, or reasonably straight, it'll be all right, won't it? So there we go. Right, these four I've got left then for you are Spectrum ones. I'll give you the worst one of the lot, again, it's a bit squashed. I've got this on the Amstrad, and I played it years and years ago on a Commodore 64, my mate had it. This got you £12.95 in boots. And this is Game, Set and Match, 10 hit games and 20 exciting events. One of them possibly is pancake flattening, because you see that one has been holding some things up over the years. I mean, the rest of the box isn't too bad. It's just that real massive indentation there. You probably can't see that. So that requires some flattening out, which isn't too much of a problem. The manual requires a little bit of a repair, because it is here, but it appears to be in three pieces, because there's the front, there's the middle, and there's the back. There is a quite literal clean shear down the middle, so we can get that repaired. That's not going to be a problem. And all the tapes are in here as well. You'll just notice as a gap there isn't one at the bottom, but that piece of cardboard is in there. So what I'll have to do on that is just do a little bit of a gluage. You can see it's laid down. It is laid down in the middle. So just do a little bit of gluage, re-stick it back up the top, and it should be as good as you can possibly get it. So yeah, it's battered, but it's fine. And I've got Game, Set and Match 2, so I've actually got both of these for the Spectrum now, which is good. So 1 and 2. But I've got one for the Amstrad. I haven't got the any for the Commodore 64 yet, so I'm on the hunt for those. So we've got World Series Baseball, we've got tennis, we've got Jonah Barrington Squash, a squash game. Can you believe that? Pool, we've got Konami's Ping Pong, Hyper Sport Super Soccer, which is awful football game. So bad they never actually I think they released it full price, did they? I think they gave it away in this. I think they put it on a cover tape. It was absolutely shocking football game. Barry McGuigan's boxing. We've got basketball, which I picked up on the that compilation on the last video, which was the GFL Sports Pack. There we go. Shows I don't put these things away after I showed them to you a week ago. And then finally we've got Daley Thompson Super Test, which contains 10 different events on it. And this was got from Boots originally, so it would set you back £12.95. But yeah, just happy to have that one. But I think I walked away from that a couple of times because of the condition. And I was taking no prisoners on Saturday. No prisoners. That'll teach me, won't it? That'll teach me trying to be clever. Right, next, Hollywood Collection. 4 great, I think I can actually say great films. They are, they're all great films, aren't they? Yeah, 4 great films. Ghostbusters 2, which I don't think is that bad a film. Indiana Jones and Last Crusade, RoboCop, and of course the first Batman Tim Burton film. So this is a Spectrum compilation as well. I'll just show you the back. There's some nice graphics there. I mean, all 4 games. Ghostbusters 2 is a bit of a turd, to be honest. I tried playing that on the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. Not my most favourite game. RoboCop. Yeah, I do like RoboCop. Batman the movie, one of my favourite games on the Amiga. I've never played Indiana Jones and Last Crusade. It makes you wonder. It says, have you got what it takes to tackle the 4 arduous action-packed levels? It doesn't sound like it's a long game, does it? But I'm sure it will be. And ironically, Mrs. Bear sent me a link on eBay to get this game. And I'm glad I didn't, because, not because I'm glad she didn't send me the link, it was just the fact that I know the eBay price was a lot more than what I paid for it. Got the manual, which is good. And again, you can see it's a triple manual, so it'll cover Amstrad, Spectrum and Commodore 64. I don't think I've actually got this compilation on anything else. And of course, we've got the old Ocean bag. There we go, Ocean software bag. All the tapes are in there. All again, great condition. And you know, if it's got the bag and the tapes are in the bag, there is a very, very good chance it's been very well protected against, damp, outside sources, heat, possibly. I don't know. But there we go. So happy. Again, nice condition. No, really nice condition. And this is one I thought, I'm sure I've picked this up before, but no, I hadn't. And that's a Spectrum one. Next one, I was so happy to get this. And again, I thought I'd seen this, and I thought I'd walk past it, and I thought, I'm sure I've checked this out before, because there are a couple in there that they've got, which I've checked, and I know I keep rechecking, but there are tapes missing, so they're not complete. But this one, I'm sure I checked before, and I'm sure all the tapes missing, but they weren't. They're all in here, which is fantastic. And again, another really good condition one, and this is Fist of Fury Edition 2. And this has got Double Dragon 2, Shinobi, the Ninja Warriors, which I picked up on the Amstrad last time out, and Dynamite Ducks, a Sega platform game. One of my favourite. I've loved playing that on the Amiga. Mrs. Bear played it on a MAME variant a couple of 3 weeks ago and said it was terrible. Just as much as she know. Anyway, we got a lovely manual. Again, look at the beautiful, beautiful looking manual, and that covers pretty much all the systems. All the instructions are in there. Again, we've got a plastic bag with the tapes in. They're all in there. I've checked them all. They're all in there. They're all in good condition. So again, just happy to find this one. I have, as I said, it's one of these things. There are various games over the years that have eluded me for good condition, and this was one of them. There's tapes missing out of it, but there we go. Not saying I haven't got these games probably already on the Spectrum, and I haven't got Ninja Warriors. That's one I definitely haven't got. Double Dragon 2? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, that was great to find that one. And that was a Virgin compilation, Virgin Games compilation. And then the final one I got, this one's actually probably the find of the day. Chips Challenge pushes it close, but purely because you don't see this one all that often, and the condition, I've got to say, is absolutely brilliant. And I got this for an absolute steal. Thank you so much to Nick for sorting me out on the deal on this one. And to be fair, thank you to Sean for sorting me out the prices. And Nick obviously for coming in and just sort of saying, try and do something a bit better on that one. I can't fault the guys in it, that they look after you wonderfully well. If you go in there, you're well known, you buy loads of stuff, you keep it for yourself, you don't like to move it on and sell it, you collect it, and they get to know you, and the more stuff you buy, they will look after you wonderfully well. I've always said over the years, the one of the things I don't like going in there is you don't know what the prices are, but believe me, I won't reveal what I paid because I've done the deal, but I'm thrilled with the price that I got for them. It's fantastic, and so that's one advantage of having no prices on there is and they get to know you very well, and you get to know them, is they will do you a good deal on it. I still prefer going in somewhere where they've got prices on them, because then that's the price, and that's the price you pay. If somebody prices something at the shop, I'll pay it. I don't walk into Tesco's and try and haggle over a loaf of bread, do I? No, I don't. So if I go into any retailer, whether it's game shop, whatever, if that's the price of the ticket, that's the price I'm going to pay. If they haven't got any prices on them, I'm into the unknown, but we'll see, won't we? Anyway, that's enough of that. This is from Elite. We've done all sorts of, we've done Virgin, we've done Ocean, we've done Codemasters, now we're doing Elite. And this is the movie Premiere 4 game compilation. That is a really nice little copy. That, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of scuffing around the edges, and I think there's a little bit of a indentation there, but really you can't see it. I couldn't believe how good condition this was in. This is on the Spectrum. Now we've got the Turtles, which is going to be that's Back to the Future. Let's go to Turtles, which is going to be the NES game, not the arcade one. We got Back to the Future 2. We got Days of Thunder, and then we got Gremlins 2. Now I'm familiar with all bar Gremlins 2. I never played a version of Gremlins 2 at all. I was never a fan of either of the others. Days of Thunder, Back to the Future 2, or Turtles. Just couldn't get them into them at all. And of course, I think what they've done in here, they put on the Atari ST and the Amiga shots. So Spectrum owners, that's not what you're going to get when you stick your tape in and load it up. I don't think I've played any of these games. Days of Thunder is an interesting one. It's an appalling game on the Amiga, but I was reading some old reviews yesterday and they were saying that on the Commodore 64 it's not actually that bad. So I'm wondering what it'd be like on the Spectrum. I don't know. We will have to see, won't we? Lovely manual. Really, really nice manual there. Has been looked after. The tapes aren't in bags, but they're all in crackingly good condition. And again, all there, all checked out. And again, that wasn't in there. When I went in, that was not one of the games that I saw in there 2-3 weeks ago when I was getting all the stuff down. So I don't know whether this is stuff that has come in recently, whether it was stuff they'd found out the back or wherever. But it just completely took me by surprise. Again, just look, isn't it? Just look. It's been in the right place at the right time. It works. That's how it is. That's how it is. And yeah, that's a lot I picked up. So I mean, obviously some more compilations. I'm hammering the compilations at the moment. It's not clouding my judgment or what else, but if I'm just focusing on that, it's fine. Because then, if I just focus on that, and I pick up the odd game like Storm Runner and Chips Challenge and Rolling Thunder, that's fine. That's really where I'm looking at the moment with the old 8-bit compilations, to get as many of those as I can. There's quite a lot of them. I haven't even thought about the dual case ones, and I've got quite a few of those as well, so to count them all in. A couple of people back mentioned, why not will you do a video about them? Yes, I once I've got over this little hill at the moment, and it might be probably a good time in the next month or so just to do a video on all the compilations. So there might be a lot of stuff you've seen recently, but I've got quite a few now. I was going through some stuff earlier, I thought I forgot I got that. So there it is anyway. But yeah, if you played any of those in any of those different versions, let me know. If you've read those Fusion books, let me know. I'd love to know what you think of them. What do you think of those compilations, that your sort of thing? Have you played any of those games? Would you like to play some of those games? Would you like to see some of them played? That'd be a bit novel, wouldn't it? Just let me know. Stick in the comments down below. It's always good to hear from people. Get some great feedback on these. And I appreciate they have a limited audience, not for everybody, but as I said before, this is what I grew up with. These are the things that I used to see in magazines. These are the things I used to play at other people's houses. They're very nostalgic for me. And I played a lot of the games as well previously. And some of these versions I haven't played before, so I'll be playing some of these for the very, very first time. And just to have them again, and to be honest with you, in terms of the outlay, it's not I'm not throwing hundreds of pounds at stuff. It's it's nice and manageable, and it gives me that nice feeling because, to go out and try and do a game hunt as I tried to do on Saturday, charity shop, CEX and the like, there's just, I know some people walk in there and get a buzz going for it, and I used to get that, but I don't now. I like to go to the independent shops and have a good rummage around and see what's in there, and I always find something that's interesting. Whether I pick it up or not is another thing, but just to find all this stuff here again, just complete right place, right time, just great stuff. Anyway, I've gone on for too long. Thanks very much indeed for watching. I will see you again soon, but until then, this is the Retro Bear saying toodaloo for now, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.